let them...
Order. Chris Stevens.
Well, thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. If this debate was a boxing match, then those who are opposing the motion would have thrown in the towel a long time ago, because I do want to praise all of those who are supporting the motion today, including those on the government side. I'm just sad that some of those on the government side treated this to their usual Marie Antoinette routine, that somehow people aren't trying hard enough, that somehow people have got themselves into these difficulties. And I have to say, some of the contributions I've heard from the other side who say to us, let's talk about jobs. Yes, well, let's talk about the public sector jobs that this government in the last 10 years has cut in the public sector. They talk about praising TWP staff, and I would agree with that. And then in the next breath they say, well, let's talk about pay. Yes, let's talk about the pay freeze in public sector workers in the last 10 years and pay restraint, and why and how many people in the public sector, and work in the public sector, are having to get support from the universal credit system because their wages are too low, because the government has taken that position. And let's talk about tax avoidance, Madam Deputy Speaker. Let's talk about how many people are employed by the government tackling social security fraud, and if those same numbers were tackling tax avoidance and evasion in this country, perhaps we would get more money in tax, and perhaps we would get that $6 billion that we keep hearing about today. But I believe that the social cost of cutting £20 a week from these from claimants is far more important, and there will be an explosion of food insecurity in this country, and every food aid provider will tell you how nervous they are if this cut goes ahead and what that means to the people that they're providing support to. The uplift was said by the government to pay for essentials. Essentials, Madam Deputy Speaker. That means food, it means energy, it means fuel. These essentials haven't suddenly disappeared as a result of the... haven't disappeared now. And people and claimants were never told it was temporary. Those who have applied for universal credit during the pandemic were never told at any time, oh, by the way, some of this money we're giving you is actually only a temporary payment. Never been said. And what's worst of all and of real concern is that those of us in the Select Committee were told by claimants that they have not yet been told that this £20 is going to be removed. If that's the case, then I think the Parliamentary Ombudsman, Madam Deputy Speaker, is going to be very, very busy. This might be WASPy Women too, and perhaps if we talk about putting people in jobs, perhaps the Ombudsman is going to have to employ many, many people to deal with all the complaints from universal credit claimants who have not been told that this money is being cut. Madam Deputy Speaker, I'll be proud today to support the motion and to support my constituents.